Hello all, Calamata, and welcome back to Geek, Feng, Shui. I'm your host and game master, Bob Sellers, Jr. Shout out to our friends up in the Twin Cities and Golden Valley at Under Pressure Brewing, South by Southeast and closer, Pine Island. And hopefully whenever they get investors and bring it back up online, Chaotic Good will be back. Who knows? I have not heard anything, but there's always hope. But yeah, check out the Hot Passport. It's listed down below. It's in printed book form, or you can get it online. And what it has is a list of breweries, not all of them. Under Pressure's not in it this year. It was last year, but not this year. One of the brewers that we ran across when my wife and I were up north coming back, we checked breweries on the way up and on the way back through the Hot Passport, which is kind of fun. They said that sometimes if the brewery finds it has enough popularity, it doesn't need to invest in it. I don't know how much they charge for a brewery to be in there, to be honest, but if you get all the stamps for Minnesota, it's I think don't quote me, it's like $1,200 a T-shirt and tickets to something. If you get all the tickets all the breweries in Iowa, North Dakota, South Dakota, each state has an award of anywhere from $100 to $150. They have far fewer in the book than Minnesota, so there is that to consider. So if you're thinking about it, it's a great gift idea, late gift idea, or just fun to get out on the weekends. Family friendly, in the Hot Passport tells you how pet friendly they are. For example, Chaotic here in town, when it was open, you can only have pets on the patio because food was served inside. But in other places, such as Under Pressure, it's completely pet friendly. They don't serve food. It's a huge indoor place, so you're not cramped in with a bunch of lizards, cats, and dogs chasing each other. Many of them have their own game rooms where they have board games, card games, calendars on their Facebook or respective web pages will lead you to some interesting, like ice bocce ball, things of that nature, Dungeons and Dragons, other fun contests that you can partake and enjoy. So, of course, I have to show off my Christmas present. We are going back into do the next class. I'm not going to be playing them back to back like I am on the introduction, but I am going to go forward and play probably the Witch and the Ranger so far are my two. I hate to use the word favorite because they're all fun, but so today we're going to do the Sorceress. For those that are unaware, that you can start a guild for free. I bought the early access for both my PC and my Xbox, thinking that I'd be playing the same characters. Turns out it's set up much like the WoW and WoW 1 and WoW 2 accounts are under World of Warcraft, meaning they're under the same account, but they're separate. And so I got 300 tokens. I'm still not getting used to what they call them, points or whatever. And so when I started my guild, I also expended my cash in town as well as the guild stash. And then I was reading up on hardcore, and so I thought I read a hardcore, and I may do one or two hardcore characters. Hardcore is different here than it is in Blizzard's games, where it's not permadeath. What happens apparently when you die is that you come back as a softcore character, much like my characters here are, where they can die as many times, and you may see them do that in future videos. That's not this one. But anyway, the only thing you lose access to is a hardcore cache. And so I got to town, and the cache and guild's cache with all the tabs are there, just nothing in it. So the cache settings, when you expand the tabs, are in both places, both sides of the fence. It's just there's a wall between when you put something in hardcore. So if you have a hardcore character with some really neat gear, die and become software, you lose access to that side of the cache. But you still have, so like, I guess you can go up to level 99, I'm not sure yet. And so if you have a 98 or 99 level character that gets killed off, it's not all lost like it would be in Diablo or WoW, and you can't do anything with that character that you spent hours and months years on, perhaps. It just becomes softcore, which is as fun in my opinion. Hardcore is just trying to avoid dying. So anyway, check out my books at sellersjr.com, my overall website, geekfengshui.com, this channel, which we appreciate if you like, subscribe, sing the bell, and commentary if you dare. But it's moderated. Just be aware to avoid the trolls. I'm not talking about World of Warcraft races here. I'm talking about the trolls on YouTube and the insidiousness of trying to explain to keyboard cowboy that clickbait is what YouTube's all about. Proper clickbait is what they allow. Improper, they will get after. So I make sure that my thumbnails as well as my descriptions clearly state what game I'm playing, unless I post this under Hello Kitty, and well, yeah, there's that. Anyway, on with the show. Each of these characters start out in the same area and have the same initial bosses to get you used to the characters.
Glad to see another living soul. The miller went now. I would appreciate it if you could.
I started a witch in hardcore and got her, called her Dora the Explorer HC. Or might be Dora HE Explorer.
Death comes swiftly here. I should keep moving.
Thought I had it auto loot. And it auto equip. It did. Oh, did you get it?
Away with you!
Learning to play a character that is ranged is called, and even melee characters that matter, is called kiting. Back in the days of Diablo, and more in particular Diablo 2, the male characters were the heavy paladins, warrior, or barbarians, and whatnot. And I have two daughters, and so I'm always proud to say, girls, women can do anything. A guy can, sometimes better. Women are smarter, and it's just that it's like what happened today in the news. Is a stalker went after a favorite WNBA player of mine, Caitlin Clark, because she's a woman, and the guys just assume they have the right to go stalking. Now, to be fair, male athletes have always been stalked by female fans, but it's a different dynamic in the sense that it in society, if you're chased by women as a man, it builds up your esteem, but in women, it's not good. And they're handling it appropriately by having them arrested around the courts. They talked about in the colleges with NIL. If you're not familiar, and there's quite a few female athletes that suddenly are very popular, making money, really good money, being the face of some companies. But because they're women, there's a lot of guys that just assume that they can come and partake of their presence without asking permission. I'll put it that way. So, disagree as you will on that. That's where I stand. But in this game, it's not as noticeable. But anyway, getting back to the gender things in Diablo, I had an assassin. Assassins were female characters. And it was dual clawed. She got up to 99. When you defeated the end boss online, you got a pip, as I called it. Star Trek terms, 3 pips means you did it on normal, nightmare, and hell mode. And anyway, it was humorous when we run into a situation where they would write off the DPS, particularly assassins, because you have a paladin or you have a barbarian. Well, in one of the Act 3, around here before I do some stupid here. You go down and drop down a, ooh, I haven't got,
Inspiring.
yeah, you have to test and make sure that you've tested your new skills out. Anyway, so you have to go down, and in Diablo 2, there was always a delay, particularly in the early days, lag is what we refer to it, where it would load the next scene of the fight, often with the boss. And you'd be fighting it, you'd hear it, and you'd be fighting it, and you just couldn't see it. Well, in the case of this last one, you come down, and if you picture a tree coming out of the bottom of a tree stump, and there's things waiting for you. Well, it's off to the races. You can fight them or run around, and assassins are not tanks, but they're like Apache helicopters, particularly with claws. So I knew they were there, and we'd be up above, and the barbarian and paladin were arguing over who was going to go first. So I go through, and I start running around like the Indy 500, and the AI was dumb enough not to be aware that they were running slower than my character, and she caught him up, and I'd whittle him down, taking him up from behind. So by the time the two doofuses figured out who was going to do what, they came down and they're all dead, and my assassin was on there cleaning their claws. So it was always fun. They were annoyed when I did that, but it's like, underestimating a female of any sort is a bad idea.
The first step on my chosen path.
Oh my god. This is really good. Walking in the flame. It's like walking and chewing gum. There's an art to it. Going over here. Anyway, that's my opinion of it. And it was humorous to show them that you don't have to be able to take a punch if you have 1,000 blades. If you're not familiar with Apache helicopters, they carry machine guns that will tear up the target without having to be close to it. That's what Alice characterized what an assassin character at the time was. You can use all kinds of cat analogies when you get the claws out. But yeah, you don't want to be locked in at close space with a tiger, a lion, or any other character that has sharp claws. Assassin is the class was designed to be very astute at how to use them. I think I'm going to let I'll do some more videos before it expires. I have 2 months left on my subscription to WoW. In that time, I'll do some more videos, but I think once that expires, I'm probably going to take another break. I took a 5 or 6 year break, depending upon when I looked at my character, some of them, and I was pretty religious about going through and keeping them all active. Guilds, there was a couple that were, more than a couple that were 6 years last played, so getting back in. don't think I'm going to do it this time.
He bore the mark of corruption. I know it.
Pulled it off. So kiting is important. Where the bad guys get over here. Let's see what we got. Okay, I'm like a witch. You can't. Oh, but I want to. Oh, firebolt. All right. You got to be careful because you can lose that skill. It's very important. But yeah, that's one of the things you learn early on is with kiting. Fighting going backwards. Getting to know the AI, and I learned early on in my gaming days, playing Madden, how to get after the AI.
Here,
And I
there's a
played
small
a game,
place of hope.
Friendly, sir.
submarine games,
Yours. Well, I've no
were
information
outsmarting.
for you. There's a beast, a particular duck. Now, if you could
AI can be
Earth
very
is
helpful.
heavy. He hides it well.
Flame Wall ignites enemies when caught in it. Any projectiles that pass through Ice Nova can chill and freeze enemies. Use it if enemies get Frost Bomb pulses with ice, reducing enemies' resistance to cold damage. Ice Nova can chill. Flame Wall ignites enemies when Ice Nova can chill
I learned
and freeze
anything.
enemies. Use it if enemies get too close. Ice
Oh, I
Flame
can't use
Wall
that.
ignites
Okay.
enemies when caught in it. Any projectiles that pass through the wall, Ice Nova can chill and freeze.
Okay, good. Fire and ice.
Welcome, violent stranger. If I don't got it, who knows what prizes await? Sure, I'll take it off your hands. Why then?
So far as I can tell, you don't have to
Strong and
repair.
overconfident.
Welcome to the camp of the lost. All this big something. I fear this land's.
Her mind tends to wander.
Yes?
Well, you can disenchant. Interesting. Been doing that. What's good you doing that?
fighting fit.
So let's try disenchanting something here. Oh, accept trade. Wait, what happened to my, oh, still on.
Bye.
I don't understand how disenchanting works.
Sorry, I was just...
Disenchant an item.
Yes?
Oh, there it is.
Bye.
So now in my inventory, I'll have a shard. How that works, we'll find out at some point. Cannot trade. So does it go in the stash? So, good to know. You can't put those in the guild stash. So before we go take on the big boss, now that I know how the bosses work, most of they're dead once I do that. Okay? Want something with more intellect. Notice the fireball doesn't take up any mana, so something to bear in mind. So I think we're going to go down and do the mud burrow first.
Disgusting. Everything is wet and vile in Ogham.
So much like Ranger,
To think they dare doubt me.
that was lightning. Just gotta learn not to panic. I think at this point I'm going to take a trip to town to replenish. So far, I have not found, and they may be coming later with the druid, a healer class as of yet.
Hey, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it, but cheers. Later.
So I don't know what these focuses are. Must be if you have a wand. I don't know. Time will tell. I found a few. Oh, checkpoints when you discover refresher. Good to know. Ooh, that's the violinist. Are we ready for this fight? Why not?
The mud worm.
Nope. That answers that question. Aye, bay. Yeah. We're not ready for that yet. I think I'm gonna go clear the rest of this place out.
Die, scum!
That was an oops, but a fortuitous one, maybe? The character said, if you won't do it, I will. Oops, I don't want that. We'll put this on there. At some point, it'll prove useful.
Sorry, I was just elsewhere. Another for my collection. Thank you. Bye.
With a character like this, slow and steady wins the day. So bone wand, it must be what you use with the focus, is my guess. We will have to next time in town play with that. I have a feeling it's more it's more for a witch, but I could be wrong. Anything that has something to do, something. We are going to go to town. I'm glad they don't have a limit. In Diablo, the original one, remember if it carried over to 2, to be honest. You could only use a teleport. Yeah, or you had to get a book of you had to get a book of portals. So it only took up 2 spots. I can't remember. You could have it in like 10 or something like that.
Elsewhere. Oh, I like this one. Stay safe if you can.
And there is our level up. Mana regen versus spell damage. You want to go that route. Remember, kiting into an area that you have not cleared is often fraught with peril. Just saying. Buggers are wall poppers. Go try it again.
The tail.
No. Yeah, so I'm not. I think I'm done with this boss. I hate to say it, but I'm squishiness knows no bounds. So I'm gonna go up and learn my lesson.
Hello. Sure, I'll take it off your hands. Later.
This is kind of just an introductory anyway. I think I will cut it short because if I go longer, I'm trying to keep it around an hour as best I can. And this kind of gives you a good taste of what a sorceress is. So as we came in, if you're ever up in the metro area of the Twin Cities, in particular Golden Valley, stop in and say hello to our friends at Under Pressure Brewing. Or if you're in Pine Island, which is closer to us here, South by Southeast, or Sexy as we call it locally because of the initials. But yeah, they're great places. The Hot Passport listed down below has lists of several. There's more, such as Under Pressure, that are not listed that you can visit as well, but it gives you an opportunity to have a reason to go on a drive for the weekend, or like when we went up north, we followed a path of breweries up, and we followed the path of breweries down. Not that we're drinking at everyone. I was drinking soda. I was a designated driver. And one trick you can do, or when I say soda, soda pop, not the hard soda. And you can get flavored. One bartender there had never done that, where they had, instead of adding flavors to the hard soda, they added flavors to the soda pop, which is, as designated driver, is one of my favorite ways to imbibe. But yeah, check them out and have fun. They're family friendly. Often have different calendars, Facebook calendars, and you can play ice and bocce ball, at least one of them. So consider that. Check out my books at sellersgr.com, my overall website at geekfengshui.com, this channel, which we appreciate. If you like, subscribe, setting the bell, comment if you dare. It's moderated. I completely appreciate constructive criticism, and we'll post that. But if you're a troll, don't bother. But anyway, yeah, please like. It shows a YouTube creator that you like their content and appreciate their work. And if you think you can do better, by all means, do so. Let me know, and I will take a look and let you know, good, bad, or indifferent, what I think of it. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you haven't tried it, you should get into doing it. It can be humiliating when your character dies over and over. Anyway, have a good one. Please like. Have a good like. subscribe, set the bell. To video, please.